Welcome back to the YouTube, guys. Today we're going to go over delt training for bench press, specifically I guess front delts versus rear delts, and a little bit of lateral delts as well for your bench press style. So I guess the main two bench press styles we see is more someone that internally rotates their upper arm bone or their humerus, or they externally rotate and keep a bit more of a tuck. So John's going to demonstrate here, I guess, maybe an internally rotated position first. So as he comes down, he's holding a fairly flared elbow position here. The whole time his humerus or his upper arm bone is staying in that twisted in position. Sometimes it might not always look like a tuck, sometimes it might not always look like a flared position. So he might go a little bit of a tuck as he comes down, but he might flare on the way back up. He's creating power doing, I guess, a position of internal rotation. So that's kind of like one camp. The other camp is holding relative external rotation, where he's almost like hiding his biceps as he goes down, and that stays there the entire time. So that's camp number two. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about delt training specifically for each variation of the bench today. So the first camp we're going to go over for the deltoid muscles in particular is the IR version, or camp A. So what John's going to do here, he's going to go through a dumbbell front raise in like an incline position on the bench. So John's going to, first of all, foremost, he's going to bring his scapulars or his shoulder blades together to hold a position of retraction, and then he's basically just going to bring the dumbbells straight up in front of him without letting his arms twist out. He's going to try and squeeze his shoulder blades as hard as he can, keep the thumbs facing downwards, and bring up at least kind of like 90 degrees at his shoulders as much as he can. I find high reps work really well here. Like aim for like somewhere between 20 and 25 reps for the front delts. The other variation of an internal rotation bench presser, or for delt training in particular, is we can use, I guess, that train of thought for the lateral delts. So what John can do here, he can twist his arms in facing inwards and then hold retraction and then basically go out to the side. So he's getting lateral delts here, but in more of an internal rotation position. Same again, high reps, somewhere between 20 and 25 reps works really, really nice here. I find that this works really nicely the session before your primary bench session. So for example, if your primary bench session is on Saturday, I find that it really works really well on like maybe your Thursday or Friday session.
If you tend to tuck your elbows when doing bench press, we consider you more of an externally rotated lifter. So you're in more ER. The way to help your bench press is to improve your rear delt strength, the muscle through the back of the shoulder. When John goes through this exercise, he's going to pull his arms back, but trying to keep his shoulder blades as forward as possible for as long as he can. He wants most of the action coming from the shoulder. If he squeezes his shoulder blades together, he's retracting too much. We don't want that. We want to try to keep the shoulder blades forward as he pulls back. This will allow you to focus on the rear delt. It's going to improve your bench press and make you feel a lot more solid when going through your movement. Another exercise for our tucked elbowed bench presser, so the more of an ER bench, is a lateral raise. We're thinking about keeping the palm up towards the roof. This helps you strengthen through the deltoid and the shoulder in an externally rotated position. Now, if you are wondering why John is wearing a wrist cuff, this takes a limitation away from his forearm strength, so he's able to push more through the deltoid. He did that on the rear delt fly as well. You don't need to do this, but it is a handy tool if you have it available. Try these two exercises, the rear delt fly, keeping the shoulders forward, and then the palms up lateral raise to improve your bench press. Hopefully you found this video helpful. To keep it simple, if you tend to flare your elbows out when you bench, work more on the front delt, so the first two exercises. If you tend to tuck your elbows, more of our ER bencher, work on your rear delt, those last two exercises. Really important that you train your accessories and your movements to suit the style that you tend to lift at and feel best at.